This is my real opinion.
Okay.
I think the Big East tournament is the most intriguing one for this reason. There's a handful of reasons. Number one, Villanova has no point guard now. Justin Moore, his ankle, Colin Gillespie's MCL. We just found out that Justin Moore is not going to be playing in this thing. So
27 points per game between those two. Not going to be in the game for Villanova.
Villanova, as we know, in the new iteration of the Big East, has been dominant. They win the regular season every year. It feels
The
like they win
last
the tournament
3
every year.
Big East tournament championships,
Right.
Villanova.
They're still
First time in
they're
history.
still good enough to win it, Tate.
Yep.
So let's not get ahead of ourselves and count them out yet. But it makes it a lot more interesting because it's like, how is Villanova? I mean, Colin Gillespie's their best player.
Yes.
He's not playing.
Yes.
What's going to happen there? Seton Hall St. John's. I'm looking at this game on Thursday. That is like I don't know if it's a play-in, but it's a play-out for sure. Whoever loses that game out of the NCAA tournament. That's intriguing. Creighton, the Greg McDermott situation.
Dare you say loser leaves town match?
Yeah, loser leaves town.
Yeah.
Creighton, we know the Greg McDermott situation they got brewing there, but like they're working through whatever that is. Like Xavier's
that is. Yes.
Xavier's on the bubble. They might be playing Creighton. Creighton's trying to get some mojo back.
And Butler had that one game against Villanova where they
Butler's
showed
feisty.
life. You know what I mean?
And then we get to the bottom of the bracket with UConn, who. Let's be honest, that's the real...
UConn has slowly turned into the favorites. And again, this is not a company man move. I know we have Coach Dan Hurley on the show today, but UConn, in the majority of the country, it feels like, they don't know who to look to college basketball, and therefore, de facto, we go to UConn.
Right.
So here we are.
UConn back in the Big East for the first year. Back in Madison Square Garden in the Big East tournament.
Yes.
Just like the stars seem to be aligning for UConn. And
the formula is there.
For those reasons, I genuinely do think yes, Fox is telling me gas up the Big East tournament, like say, remind people the Big East tournament's going on.
In your ear right now, more.
Yeah, more. So I was going to say like things about it. I was going to remind our listeners that it's going on anyway, but they did not tell me to say that it's the tournament I'm most excited about. I can very easily say I'm more excited about the Big Ten, and they won't care. I'm not. The Big East is the more intriguing tournament to me. Not to say the other one. Well, I mean, we'll talk about the other ones later. There's some stuff to be interested in the other ones, but just all the stuff
Big
going.
10 is interesting. Big 12.
The
We'll
Big
talk about all
East
of them,
is
of course.
basically Xavier. You got Seton Hall and St. John's are all in the bubble.
The Pac-12. Here's the update. Not that interesting. Not that interesting.
So here's what I wanted to do, because just in the interest of, we have brackets in our hands. We have paper brackets. We have pens.
We're almost like fidgety. We're so anxious
Yeah.
about this. So if you're watching us on live, we've never been this excited to have paper brackets in our hands.
Should we fill out a bracket?
Yeah,
is what I'm asking
let's
you.
make some picks. Let's talk about it. Yeah,
Because it just
the
feels
Big
right.
East.
It feels right. So the opening game of the Big East tournament it's back in Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
Here's another reason we should be talking about the Big East tournament. It comes full circle, Tate. The last shot we got of college basketball in 2020 was the St. John's mascot just staring into the abyss as Rob Stone's telling us everything's canceled. Cancel all of your plans. And there's a big zoom out that lasts like 30
St. John's,
seconds.
the home team, in
Right.
Madison Square Garden, feeling it even more.
So we're back here. We're back in Madison Square Garden. We're running it back. We're trying to actually get these games in. Oh, who are they playing? Was it DePaul, I think, at the time?
Yeah, I
it was
think
St.
so.
John's,
Yeah.
DePaul.
Oof.
And they went to did they come back after halftime and keep
Dave
playing?
Leto's like, where are the Chicago recruits?
Anyway, so opening game, Marquette, a Marquette team that you believe in.
Yes.
Very strongly because they...
Not because I'm blinded by what I saw in the Dean Dome, but because I've seen signs, Mark Titus.
Marquette versus Georgetown. That's at 3 Eastern
That's a fun game.
on Wednesday. So that gets us started. It would be noon Pacific, I guess.
Yep.
That gets the Big East tournament underway. What do we need to tell the people about that one? They played once this year, I believe. I think Marquette won the first one by 4 at Georgetown. That's the only time they played. The teams are sort of different since then. Georgetown started off the season awful. They were not good. They sort of picked up steam later. I think they won like 6 of the last 10 coming into the conference tournament. But Marquette, as we know, feisty. They're feisty.
And have the talent, too. And obviously have Wojo there as a good coach. I could see Marquette and Butler are the two teams that are like high seeds.
DJ Carton,
he has a curse against North Carolina. We don't know what he has against the program, but in general, he's been great. Had probably the most spectacular dunk, the most highlight-worthy dunk we've seen all season. But DJ Carton, Marquette, they're a scary team if you're Villanova, I feel like, to face in the first round.
I didn't even
like you said,
realize
with some
until now
injuries.
Marquette's a Jordan team, and they played it. That adds to the pain of kicking their ass. And
wearing Jordans.
Yeah.
In the Dean
They
Dome.
wore
Not
Jordans.
good. Not good. But I like Marquette. Villanova there, that's upset potential in the first round. That's a good 1-9 game to watch. But, with Marquette, we've seen them just completely just lay a flat egg, before. So I could see Marquette, Georgetown. That's a game to watch.
Marquette
see what Marquette's team shows up, and then we go from there.
Marquette's not making the tournament. I mean, I guess they could. Are they good enough to win this? I don't think so. I guess.
But if you're Marquette, there's a path because Villanova, without two of their top guys, you beat them, then you take the 1 seed from them,
true.
and then you're going.
I guess if you're Marquette, you've convinced yourself that you could win this tournament right now. I feel like what teams are DePaul is basically the one. I feel like every other team is maybe talking to themselves like, yeah, we could win this thing.
Yeah, even Xavier.
Xavier's like we could win this thing.
Yeah, of course.
I think Marquette's going to win the first game though.
Me too.
So put me down for Marquette.
Yep.
I'm writing in Marquette in my bracket here. I just want to write. It just feels so good to write. There we go. Also on Wednesday, the next game is then Butler Xavier, which. I got this stat for you because we're fascinated by Minnesota away from the barn. And Minnesota literally did not win a single game this year away from the barn, which I guess we could talk about later with the Big Ten tournament because they're playing Northwestern. That's an immovable object. And
yes,
an
nobody wants to win
right there.
game.
What the hell's going to happen to that one?
Yes. That is the Frank Beamer pick when it's 0-0. It's going to overtime. Yeah, that is that.
So Butler, here's the factoid for you for this game. The only game away from home that Butler has won all year was at DePaul, who's the worst team in the conference.
Brad Stevens seems like a guy that loves the word factoid.
Yeah.
Butler
has because I think going into this game, what you're going to talk about, I can see it in your eyes. You're going to talk about how they beat Villanova. You're going to talk about how Butler at Hinkle Fieldhouse this year has pulled off some upsets, has won a lot of games that maybe they shouldn't have won. But I'm going to tell you that all those happen at Hinkle Fieldhouse, and that when Butler leaves Hinkle Fieldhouse, when you get away from the
Hoosier magic,
the weird sunlight coming in at Hinkle Fieldhouse at certain times, like the wonky floor that there's dead spots all over the place, and it's lopsided a little bit, and
the best.
The baskets
kind of reminds me of the old Big East. Now that you're talking about it,
yeah. When Butler gets away from that, they've won one game all season. It was at DePaul, who is, as I said, the worst team in the conference. So I like Xavier in this one. Xavier also fighting for their NCAA tournament lives. Butler is not, so I think Xavier's going to win this one.
I think take Xavier as well. As much as I like Butler, I like them in that one game. You're right. They don't do it on the road, neutral sites.
So I'm going to write down your
not
picks
for the
too.
Bulldogs.
We're both Marquette.
We're going to take Xavier as well.
We're both Xavier.
Throw up the X.
So then DePaul Providence. Providence.
Yeah.
We don't need to spend a lot
Coach
of time
Cooley, we're riding with you
on that one. All right, so that gets us to the quarterfinals. Marquette Villanova. This is where things start to get interesting.
This is my upset. I'm taking it.
You're taking Marquette?
I'm taking Marquette. Just pass me on.
All right.
Yeah,
Marquette,
I believe. Marquette, show something. Come on.
Because Marquette is feisty, as we said. They are playing better basketball as of late. But the fear that I have is, but yeah, maybe Villanova's injuries. If Villanova's fully healthy, Marquette lays down this game. I feel like Marquette has nothing to play for.
Yes, it's over.
They're just kind of like, whatever.
Now you have the nobody believes in us. You have the push to say, look, if we win this one game, guys, look, 1-0, Mark Titus. You know what Coach Speech is. This is what Wojo's saying. This is the game.
So
this is the game.
I think Villanova still wins. I think this is a massive game for Villanova because again, this is what makes the Big East tournament interesting to me because a lot of these teams, like we'll talk about the Big Ten, like Michigan is sort of reeling. I think Michigan needs to win. Like if Michigan plays Michigan State in the first round, I think Michigan needs to win that one. But like if Michigan loses in the quarterfinals or the semifinals, I guess I should say, I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think there are a lot of teams at this point who have stuff left to prove.
Who can really hurt themselves.
Yeah, or like they need to like get mojo back or whatever. Villanova is very much a team that like we have to figure this out going into the NCAA tournament without Justin. Justin Moore will probably be back for the NCAA tournament, but Colin Gillespie won't. Like they're very much limping into the Big East tournament, and I mean that literally.
Yes.
They lose. What were their final 3 games? They lose at Butler. They win over Creighton, but they lose Colin Gillespie in that game, so that was like an emotional loss. And then they close out the season losing at Providence. I think Villanova, this is a massive game just to get the mojo back, get the Villanova magic back. And I can't in good faith pick Marquette to be Villanova.
I mean, it also seems impossible to think that if they were to win this tournament this year, they would have won 5 of the last 6 Big East tournaments.
Yeah, like Villanova.
That doesn't even seem real. You know what I mean? You just got to pass that on.
I'm not ready for I'm not ready for the changing of the guard where the UConn fans, like if Villanova loses in the quarterfinals and UConn goes on to win this.
It's not a passing of the baton in that sense. It's just like, let someone else win the tournament.
But what I'm saying is if that happens, that's what's going to happen. If UConn
don't let them do it. We won't let them do it.
If UConn wins the Big East tournament and Villanova loses in the quarterfinals, UConn fans are saying it's our league. Get the hell out of the way.
Yes, company man.
Yeah,
it's UConn's league.
Does Stan Hurley work for us now? Jay Wright's like, what the
He's
hell,
on the
man?
show.
Like,
he works with us.
Yeah, he works with us.
That's all it is.
I'm taking Villanova. All right, this is the
There
big
you
one.
go.
This is the game of the.
This is the best game of the
This is going to
tournament.
be the best game of the
Yep.
tournament, I think. Seton Hall, St. John's, a playout game, as I said. I don't think the winner is in per se, but the loser's definitely out.
They just played, and Seton Hall
they closed the season. Seton Hall,
up 18-0, and
18-0 to start the game.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a blowout for Seton Hall, and then St. John's, takes over. I think they ended up getting the lead. It's like 47-46 at that point. 11 minutes or so left to go in the game. Julian Champagny, again, I'm a Champagny guy, all about the Champagny brothers. Leads. The Big East in scoring 19.9 points per game. And, I believe in the Champagny magic, but I don't like the fact that Seton Hall just blew this game right before this. So I'm leaning Seton Hall a little bit in my heart, even though I love the Johnnies.
It comes down to me, is Posh Alexander going to play? He's got like a sprained
that's what we
thumb.
need.
He did not play. They beat him. They beat Seton Hall without him.
If he plays, I take the Johnnies.
I think Seton Hall, like, if Seton Hall has any sort of pride whatsoever,
they have to win.
They've
this
lost
game.
4 in a row, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. All signs point to a Seton Hall win.
Yeah, but is this like a gambler's fallacy that you've seen red hit 4 times in a row, and you're like, Black's got to be due. Black has got to be due.
I'm taking the Johnnies. I'm going with my heart. Take the Johnnies.
You take the Johnnies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Seton Hall because I just can't like.
That's probably the right pick. But
because we saw with Michigan State that when you play another team
Champagny for
back
life.
to back like that, I think the team that lost has the advantage in the second game. It'd be one thing if St. John's blew Seton Hall out and they were like, we're clearly better, but they weren't. Like, you could argue that Seton Hall choked it away more than St. John's won.
Yeah.
I don't think Seton Hall can blow this. I don't think they can. I think Seton Hall has to win, but that's going to be a great game.
That's going to be the most fun game. Again, that's
I'll put me down for Seton Hall. Put me down for Seton Hall. So we have
Thursday at 3.
All right, Xavier Creighton.
I actually am going to take Xavier in this game. This is another upset for me.
Just making upsets like crazy.
I mean, I love it. I mean, at the end of the day, Creighton's been in the conversation, right, for us. We know that they're there. We know that they have talent, but this whole McDermott situation,
which was started at Creighton or at Xavier. I mean, it was at Cincinnati.
So
when the post-game
this seems like it's all going to bubble back up. I don't know. I'm going to take Xavier. I feel good about Xavier. I think Xavier is actually a little bit under the radar.
They
Xavier,
need to run
as well.
They're a bubble team.
Yep.
This would be massive for their case. So Xavier, they played. When did they play? I wrote it down just a couple weeks ago. Yeah, and so, well, because that was the McDermott post-game press conference. Xavier won that game. That's what sparked like the post-game speech to his team.
Then they lost to Georgetown. Then they lost to Marquette. So they've lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
So there's like a little bit of we've forgotten that they're a hot team. I think a little bit. So
they lost.
I'm riding with the
lost.
X. No, we just like Ohio State. We just forgot. We just forgot.
You think Ohio State's still hot? They're
hot. They're hot.
So in that game, Xavier carved up Creighton. It could have been a lot worse if Xavier was hitting threes. They weren't really hitting threes, but they were still like just absolutely like Creighton's defense was awful in that game. And I think Creighton, again, not to keep harping on it, but like this is what makes the Big East tournament to me is like Creighton is a team much like Villanova that's like we have lost our mojo a little. We have to figure this out. And I think they have to win this game. But I think it's a must-win for both teams. Have must-win. It's a must-win for both teams. What happens?
I'm
then?
all in for Scruggs, and
I think Creighton has to win this.
Okay,
I think Creighton has to win this for me to have any hope whatsoever in a Creighton NCAA tournament.
I think the 9:00 game, the next game, actually might be the best game in the tournament.
Providence, UConn.
Yeah, David Duke versus James Bouknight.
That's gonna be a good.
That's
one.
a showdown. Madison Square Garden, 9:00. Featured game. Those two guys going back and forth. Ed Cooley stalking the sidelines.
They split this season.
I mean, Ed Cooley, Dan Hurley, primetime MSG. That's going to be a fun game.
I'll say
those two guys.
I don't think it's coincidence that UConn got the 3 seed, and the 3 seed plays the latest game every single step of this tournament.
They want UConn to do this.
I think they want UConn in the prime time every single.
I like the Big East, basically just trying to see, like, they're just like, yeah, are you who we thought you were?
Yeah.
Like, we'll give you the ball, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Are you the UConn of old?
Yeah.
Because if so, great for the old Big East.
Here's the Providence UConn backstory. They split on the season. The first game Providence won, I believe, and or was it what do I have my order out of? No, I think Providence won the first one, but Bouknight didn't play, and then they did the rematch and Bouknight was back. But UConn's lost 2 games this season with James Bouknight. One was home against Creighton when he had 40 points, went to overtime, and that was the game that I keep pointing out as like that was the first instance where I was like, oh my god, if fans were here, they would be losing their mind, and UConn would have won that game. But Bouknight hits like insane shot after insane shot, and it's just dead quiet in there. But whatever, they lost. We'll count it.
Yep.
And then they lost at Villanova against the full-strength Villanova team. Those are the 2 losses that UConn has all season with James Bouknight. They have the conference defensive player of the year with Posh Alexander. Isaiah Whaley won that. They just announced that on Monday. UConn, all the stars are aligned, Tate, for UConn to make a run. I believe in it. I am very simple-minded with this stuff, and I think that if there's one team that in all of these power tournaments, if there's one team who cares about winning their conference tournament more than any other team, ignoring like the teams that need to win for automatic bids, because like Duke obviously cares, like that's their only way into the tournament. But I'm saying like teams that are already in, that are just like, you're asking, does Baylor have anything to play for? Does Kansas, UConn has everything to play for.
Everything.
Yes. To the UConn Huskies, to the fan base, they're like, this is the most important thing ever, that we kick everyone's ass in this tournament.
Yes.
UConn is winning this game.
This is like when you go to a Fleetwood Mac show 20 years past their prime, and then they start playing Go Your Own Way or what, any song from Rumors, and they play the hits, and you're like, this is it. This is what I came for. UConn, play the hits. The original Race to 69, if people forget this, the championship game, Kimball Walker, 2011, the first Race to 69 moment in my life. I was a freshman in college, and I saw it right then. The Race to 69. It came to me, clarity. And then from there on, UConn.
Wait, Gary McGee, was that the what are we talking about? Kimball Walker, Race to 69?
In the championship game.
Oh, the championship.
Yeah, it was literally, they won 69, 60, 61, something like that. But it was the original Race to 69 moment in my life. James Bouknight, get on the ride 10 years later, I believe.
All right, so you're taking UConn as well?
Yes.
So you have Marquette, St. John's. I have Villanova, Seton Hall.
Give me St. John's.
All right.
So the championship game to me is home team St. John's. For the Big East, this is for the brand. For the old Big East, we got St. John's, the home team, playing in Madison Square Garden. Mike Anderson's got a great squad. It's a talented squad. The Johnnies are going to be a team to be reckoned with moving into the future.
Yeah.
And then they're going to take on the new UConn Huskies in the new Big East. But this sets the tone. We have old Big East vibes for the new Big East in the future.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The Johnnies versus UConn is what I have.
You had St. John's Marquette, so that
just move it to the championship. I'm already there. It's UConn Johnnies.
Okay, all right, I'll put UConn in.
Just skip ahead. You know what it is.
I will do the same. I had Seton Hall Villanova as a semifinal. I am going to put. I think this is the game Villanova goes down. I think Villanova that catches up to them. I think Seton Hall. Here's what happens in this game. Seton Hall wins. This solidifies, because Villanova is obviously still one of the better teams in the country, even without Gillette. Like a win over Villanova would be great, obviously, for Seton Hall's tournament resume. We're getting Kevin Willard in the post-game press conference, just basically saying like, everyone who said we were a bubble team, kiss my ass. Like,
if we're not in now,
if we're not in now, like,
what are you talking about?
I can't believe you. Like, Mamu's just like, I can't believe you all thought we were a bubble team. They get a little cocky about it, which I don't mind. But also, it's like, well, yeah, we thought you were a bubble team because you lost 4 in a row, and you saw. I sense like that, and then like Big East people are like, well, I was cheering for Seton Hall, but they're a little, they're feeling themselves a little too much.
It's a little too much for me.
I like Seton Hall. Put Seton Hall in the title game.
Okay.
I had UConn.
I like Mamu in the title game.
I had UConn Creighton. I think I'm just gonna make the same point over and over. Spoiler alert, I have UConn winning this whole damn thing because like I have a small brain and I just like I've seen
Zegarowski comes to this game and thinks it's his night, but it's really Bouknight's night, and the rest is history.
I think if Creighton plays UConn in the semifinal, that could be the game of
that
conference tournament.
That could be great.
That could be insane. Mitch Ballack just pulling up. Are they going to have the NBA three-point line down?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, it's MSG. Dude.
Mitch Ballack's licking his lips at that. He's like, yes, please.
I mean, I see Tibbs at the game watching it just because he loves he loves basketball so much. He just wants to watch the game. I love it.
So you have UConn, St. John's. I have UConn, Seton Hall in the title game. As I said, it's UConn. It's UConn. It's going to be UConn, right?
Yeah. I think all signs going into this game, we're thinking UConn. I'm trying to talk myself out of it, but at the end of the day,
if Mike Anderson was on our show today, would you pick St. John's?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Company man answer, yes, 100%. But you come on our show, you get the pick.
I do think, like, you look at all these matchups. You look at Madison Square Garden, dude. The blood is coursing through my veins again. You see the Connecticut Huskies.
Yes.
Like I said, it is partly shtick to say like UConn is going to make a run because it just feels like destiny. But it's also like I genuinely do believe that there is like some juice behind UConn in that locker room, and that they're like, this is a big deal.
Yes,
this has to be a big deal. In a way that I don't think.
I mean, I can just hear Gus Johnson with James Bouknight with the ball, waiting to
and book night.
Exactly. And the Huskies are back home. You know what I mean? As he hits the shot, they're back in the Big East and they're celebrating the championship.
It's the shot that put him up 31. It's just Gus was just like fired up, like ready to. He's like, this game has been over the whole time. Oh, okay. Well, sorry about
it's
that.
All right.
Sorry
it's MSG.
He's like, I got carried away. My bad. Taps. She's like, it's been 2 years since we've called it a tournament.
Oh, it feels good, Titus.